So the 2026 primary election is now behind us, and on this day after the vote, everyone is still talking about two upsets of sorts for the state legislature. The Democratic Party endorsed candidates for state Senate and Assembly both lost in two high-profile races to these two competitors, and one of the winners was Adam Bojak, who is live here with us in studio tonight. He won the 149th Assembly District race. I heard, thanks for coming in. I heard it was either you or one of your supporters say it wasn't an upset. I guess I mean that in the context of it's hard to beat an endorsed candidate, and your opponent was endorsed by the party, had the party apparatus behind her, had a lot of outside money, which I'll ask you about in a second. How do you size up your victory and why you won in a pretty commanding fashion yesterday?
The reason that we didn't look at this as an upset or a surprise is because we knocked over 25,000 doors, we made over 6,000 phone calls, we put in the work. And we got the responses from the voters when we talked to them. And we were building up this database of people who said, yes, we're going to vote for you. And so when we went into the election day yesterday, we just had to make sure our people got to the polls, because we knew that if we did that and they made their voices heard, that we were going to win.
It's interesting because if you go to your website for your campaign and you click on Meet Adam, I talked about this yesterday, you talk about how for years now you've been a member of the Democratic Socialists Party of Buffalo, the local chapter of it. You have not shied away from that, whereas some candidates in the past have. There's been so much discussion about Zoran Mamdani, the new mayor in New York City. He was rallying with Senator Bernie Sanders and some candidates that he endorsed. It was a clean sweep for them downstate yesterday. Right. Do you think your race is part of that trend and what Democrats across the country are feeling right now, or do you think this was a local thing? Your campaign, your message was just better with your constituents? I
think this is part of that movement where we are saying that the things that we're fighting for are not radical. They're not crazy. These are things that people need in their everyday lives. And so when you go and talk to them and say, this is the things that I want to do for you in Albany, it's a really easy thing to sell and say, yeah, we're going to do this together. And the things that we're fighting for are wildly popular, regardless of the voter affiliation, too, of the people that we're talking to. And people know that we need a healthy, housed, and affordable Western New York. And so when you tell them that, hey, we've been fighting for these things for years, and we are going to continue to fight for those in Albany, they're more than willing to say, yeah, I can't wait to support you.
You talk about the work that you hope to do in Albany. I mentioned there, and we led the show with the fact that Congress has passed the first housing bill, the first substantial housing bill in some people's lifetimes. I mean, it was George H.W. Bush who was president the last time we saw this. The president, we believe at some point, is going to sign this. Right now, there is some politics at work. What needs to happen at the state level in Albany to deal with that part of the affordability crisis and just the exploding cost of home ownership?
I think this is also one of the things we've been talking about in this campaign is we have seen over the past couple of years that the federal government cannot be relied upon to do the things that we need. So the state has to step up. We have to step up at the state level to tax the rich and ensure we can fund Medicaid so that everybody has the health care that they need while we work toward a long-term solution of universal health care at the state level. We have to make sure our hospitals and health centers are not closing. So we can do that at the state level. And we can also pass bills like the Social Housing Authority that would create a statewide social housing structure, which would ensure every single person has a safe and stable home. We can do that at the state level. We can pass the REST Act, which would help municipalities opt into rent control in an easier way. And we can just make sure that we're stabilizing our communities. All of this can be done in Albany, and I can't wait to do that.
On the politics of all this, you know that Republicans are out there saying, especially with Mamdani and these other candidates in New York City, that Democratic Socialists are out of touch with where sort of the middle part of the country is. How do you respond to that and the politics of having that title attached to you? Perhaps doesn't hurt you electorally, you won yesterday, but hurts the movement and the ideas that you're talking about.
The ideas themselves are wildly popular. Like I said, regardless if you talk to a Republican, a Democrat, Working Families Party member, it doesn't matter. If you say, hey, do you think we should tax the rich? 80 to 90% of them say yes. And so we have no problem saying that these are the things that we're going to do. These are the things that we are going to fight for. And the results show, people are not scared of these things. And it also does help that the Republicans have been calling literally every Democrat a socialist for 30, 40, 50 years. So we are going to reclaim that and say, yes, we are democratic socialists. We want people to democratically control their workplaces because that is how they are going to best serve their communities and serve themselves.
Adam Bojak, one of the big winners from yesterday's primary election of the 149th Assembly District. Fresh off the win, thanks for coming in. It's good to see you. We'll be in touch. Thanks.
Thank you so much.